All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And today we're talking about, as you can see, Churchill Capital, Lucid Motors, and what's happening. Look, Churchill Capital's been churning out SPACs, and they've been doing deals. The interesting thing about this particular deal is that the general public that were buying the SPAC, it's a blank check company. You don't know what's going to go into it. There's speculation, there's an idea, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that something is going to happen with a particular deal with a particular company. So when you're putting together an IPO and you're doing that, you have a quiet period, you have all this stuff that transpires. And I'm just wondering with SPACs, you know, uh, are they going to have this quiet period? You know, typically when you have a SPAC and you're looking for a company, you don't know what you're going to get involved with. You're not letting it out yet. You're putting the deal together. You're structuring it. So before this deal was announced, the stock was shooting up and then it came back down. The bottom line is that, at the end of the day, it's a good deal, for the SPAC for Lucid Motors. I think it's giving them a ridiculous market cap. Now they have to pretty much, make it all work. They're pretty much now. Lucid is where, business wise, where Tesla was maybe 8 years or so ago, maybe 9 years, maybe even 10. But the technology is more advanced, so I'm going to assume they're going to move quicker than Tesla did, and they have access to the capital. They have a huge amount of capital in front of them to execute. So that changes things, and I think longer term it can be a good play. They're making good acquisitions. They're making good deals. So something to look at. The reason I brought up the quiet period is because it's important. When a SPAC, a blank check company, is not supposed to know what it's going to invest in. So when they have it, they're searching. So when they're searching, they have to go and bring it to the investors, get the approval, so on and so forth, and get it done. Problem is, before this deal was done, the street and the general public was already anticipating that it was done. Out of all the companies and all the things in the world, why does this company come up, Lucid, to be with this particular SPAC? Obviously, somebody yapped about it, and that can be somewhat problematic for SPACs, because if you have that ability to do that, you know, and leak information like that, it can disrupt things, and it's impacting, retail investors that are buying a SPAC. Nothing prevents them from buying a company, right? If they feel like there's upside potential and they have the inside track of, as to what the blank check company is going to actually have in it, then they wind up jumping in there. But in this case, even though they knew, even though the deal happened as people anticipated, people were buying it a lot higher. The stock itself came down. And then you have institutional investors that are doing the pipe that were priced in at $15. So the bottom line is you have retail investors buying it at 40, 50, 60, whatever it is, so they wind up holding the bag for a little while. So again, there's like a gray area, I guess. There has to be something more there. And again, this is my opinion, my view on it. I think the deal itself works for what they're doing. Look, Klein knows what he's doing. He's This is not his first party. They're doing a sixth and a seventh fund, a SPAC, right now, sixth and seventh SPAC, and I think they raised maybe 1.6, 1.7 billion. So the investors are coming. You have a lot of dry powder out there. They're coming for the right deals, and they're looking. And you have so many SPACs out there that are looking for good deals, and the deals are there. Just got to make sure you have the right people in place for it to work, and that's what it all comes down to. Okay, so when you're when these deals are being structured, and they can be beautiful deals, I think that you're going to have some that are not going to work out. You have some that it will, some that may just stay flat. At the end of the day, when you have a SPAC and you have a reverse merger going on, it's giving that company the capital reserves to push everything the way they need to push it, and bring the companies where they need to be brought to, where they picture them being brought to. And that's important, and that is definitely important. So when you have the capital reserves, you can do a lot of things. Companies that are private and they don't have the capital reserves, it's hard to compete. So now with Lucid having the capital reserves, yeah, they may give, over time, you know, over the next couple of years, they may give Tesla a run for their money. The one thing that the CEO of Lucid said, he said that, the one thing that's impactful, which is important. People have this major question: electric vehicles. How are you going to charge them? Do you have to sit there and charge your car overnight while when you go 300 miles? According to Lucid CEO, a 20-minute charge gives you 300 miles. Okay, 20-minute charge, 300 miles, and that becomes interesting. That becomes impactful, because now you're cutting down the time, and technology is going to continue to evolve and advance. Right now they're using lithium batteries and so on and so forth, and someone's going to come out, and I'm sure they have ideas right now with a new type of technology that can make it more efficient without using lithium. Let's see how that comes out. But anyway, enough of the electric vehicles. I want to end off talking about SPACs. Okay. The special purpose acquisition companies that are out there, you have a lot of them. They're looking for deal flow. They're looking for the right situations. As a retail investor, and this is my opinion. That's it, just my opinion. Jumping in there, thinking that something is going to happen, it's not always the smartest idea, but at the same time, if these companies were to go public via an IPO, what would be your buy-in price then? This is what you have to weigh. If Lucid would have went public, would you have gotten it at 40, 50? Would it have been priced at 80, 90? And then come down. So your price point, your entry point, all this stuff you have to take into account. Granted, you could have got it cheaper today, but you know what, you can dollar cost average, bring your average price down if you like it that much. If not, sit tight. I think that the again, my opinion, I think that the company works out longer term. And that's just the way I see things. And with Churchill, they're again doing a lot. They have a lot of things on tap. This is not their first rodeo. They have a lot of deal flow, a lot of things happening, and for those that are working with Klein and his crew, they're fortunate because there's a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of, they have the ability to bring in other institutions into a pipe and do all this other stuff. So they structure it well, get it done. They're just looking for the right deals, so that they'll continue to do so, I'm sure. All right. Anyway, that's it for this edition of Money Never Sleeps, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Tomorrow. I think I'm going to be speaking about a little bit more about Bitcoin and other cryptos, and how the utility, is going to make the difference. And I spoke about this yesterday. I'm going to speak about it tomorrow. Right now, Tesla stock is dropping. They're correlating Bitcoin to Tesla, and you cannot do that. You cannot do that. Elon Musk bought Bitcoin, and your buy-in price is what is booked. Is it shows on the books. It doesn't show the increase. Just shows what you paid. What you paid for it is on the books as an intangible asset. Period. The end. That the Bitcoin can go to 1 million. You're not changing the valuation of the company, because that doesn't change. It's static, just like that, unless it comes down. Then they can start booking losses. But other than that, they're not going to book the gains on it. Just keep that in mind as you're looking at Tesla and you're trying to correlate one to the other. If you do that, you're not thinking. you're not thinking. Anyway, guys, you enjoy the rest of your trading day and the rest of your day actually, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.